find that the sound in the mouth is like uneven, I'll try to fix it up in editing. It's like a badly dubbed Chinese movie. But
Okay.
so this is Elliot Tanzer, and he's our astrologer, and he's speaking at May 31st, 2012, and you're speaking about mutables and...
The four mutable signs as the four healers of the zodiac.
Okay. Doesn't he have a great voice? I mean, man, he should do voiceover work or something. So, not only do you do astrology, but I see on your website that you also do Feng Shui.
Feng Shui, I've been doing that for lots of years too, but astrology I've been doing 44 years.
I see, and the Feng Shui has been...
Since the early 1990s.
Oh, I see. Okay. And do you find that people of a particular Western astrological configuration, they do better with different type of Feng Shui, or the Feng Shui is sort of like a universal thing that this corner is always good for money and that corner is always good for hot sex?
Well, you can hope for the best. Actually, there's three kinds of Feng Shui, and one kind is called Landform. And all schools of Feng Shui are dependent on that.
Okay.
Where's the beams, where's the bathrooms, where's the door to the bedroom, relationship to the bed.
Right, right.
So that's structural stuff.
Right.
It's land forms or forms. Then there's what you were referring to, which comes under the category of Black Sect Tantra Buddhist Feng Shui. Mm-hmm. And that's really a very modern, contemporaneous form. And it depends also on the forms.
Right.
But as a technique, it really is, you might call it based on the theory of relativity. Mm-hmm. In other words, what's our perspective? What's the subjectivity of us as we enter a space?
Right.
And how does the left brain see and the right brain sees? And what's the yin and the yang? And then where would you say the money would be? We put the money at the front door, put it in the back left, because it's the left side. Right. And the right side would be more intimacy, so that's the relationship.
Oh, okay.
You're hoping for hot sex.
And make sure that there's two sides to the bed, right? Two side tables. Don't put your bed up against the wall, because that doesn't let anybody in your bed.
So exactly. Or no one wants to be up against the wall.
Exactly.
Right? So it's a divorce situation.
It's a bad situation. Take the teddy bears off the bed too. Just as a little thing between us girls. Grow up. Okay. So.
Or pick a guy who likes teddy bears.
Really? Okay. Now, after you speak with us, you're going to be doing a workshop on the 2nd?
Saturday, June 2nd.
June 2nd.
It's an all-day workshop, 10:30 to 5:30, and that's on Astro Cartography.
Right.
So as an astrologer, we can do chart readings, natal chart interpretations, what's your personality type, what's your issues with relationships and health, and compatibility studies. That's another thing that we do, expertise on our menu of services. And then the third might be transits, progressions, solar arcs, or it's future forecasting, where you're at now, what's coming in the next months or weeks to come.
Right.
The fourth very important technique, which unfortunately is very often neglected by modern astrologers that now have this ability, is Astro Cartography. Right. Which is basically mapping out where the planets were crossing the face of the Earth at the moment of your incarnation.
Right. Right.
So if you were born when the sun was rising, you'd see the sun rising or ascending over that city you were born in.
Right.
And likewise, someplace else in the world, Venus was rising, or Saturn was rising.
Oh,
so each of these, now some places might have three configurations. What's at high noon, what's at midnight, what was descending, what was ascending. If you happen to have a planet each of these places within 8 degrees of the angle, then that's going to be a significant factor in how you see the world and how the world sees you.
When I went on tour, I teach polymer clay. When I went on tour in 2007, I was trying to decide what would be a good place to meet with my claymates. And a friend of mine did Astro Cartography and said, who do you know, like in the Austin area? And I said, oh, just tons of people, because I had Venus running right down, for instance. And so since we're doing art, and since we're doing sculpting, I have Venus in Virgo, and so I'm fairly pedantic. It was perfect. I had the most wonderful 3 weeks, taught in Austin, San Antonio, and Arlington, and loved it. I didn't want to leave.
For instance,
that's
my question would be, and why did you? You don't have to answer the question. It was rhetorical.
Yeah.
Because Venus would be the goddess of love, art, and beauty.
Oh, if I didn't have family obligations here.
That's usually the excuse.
Yeah.
But do you know? Could they tell you what planets you had here?
No, not really.
Now, if you're just using a computer program, right, that's going to be good for a thumbnail sketch. You really need to get the large maps that Jim Lewis devised years ago that you get through astronumerics.com. And if you go to the sidebar where it says calculations and then go there and click down 5, it'll say maps only. So a map is $13.
Oh, okay.
Cheap enough that you're not saving money using the program on the computer. Now, I'll use my computer map for those clients who aren't ready maybe to commit to it and they want to kind of go, you know, you're living on Saturn line.
Yeah, right. So 500 miles east or west of your Saturn line.
I wouldn't tell you to leave if everything is fine. Let me ask you a leading question. How's your bones and joints, or do you have TMJ severe and you're only in your 30s?
Oh,
is it? Now we could say, oh, you're a Capricorn rising or Saturn conjunct the Sun. You're likely to have problems like that.
Yes.
You might say it's a precondition of the chart.
Right.
But why are you having it in your 30s?
Yes.
Instead of in your 60s or 70s.
Right.
Now, I grew up on my Saturn, Jupiter, and Moon lines.
Oh.
So I had all kinds of Saturn problems as a teenager, from bad skin to bad teeth to funny knees to an S curve in my lower spine.
Gosh.
Okay, so, but I also had Jupiter.
Right.
So what a wonderful opportunities I had there.
Yeah.
Okay, but as soon as I came to California in '68, my Venus line.
Oh, nice.
Right. I was like a kid in a candy store.
Peace, love, and flower power. He came at a good time.
But, you know, I grew up in New York City, Greenwich Village. There was peace, love, and flower power there, too.
Right.
But I was on Saturn. I was the moody intellectual.
Yes, right. Well, that's a good place to be.
Playing chess with the old men in Greenwich Village.
That's right.
Here.
You were a beatnik before you came out here to be a hippie.
Exactly. But it wasn't even just that so much, as that here I learned to dance. Here I became an artist. Here I got involved in the theater group instead of being the moody intellectual with a pipe and patch sleeves and a tweed jacket.
In smoky cafes.
So it was a good place to get an education and the meaning of life. Right. But how long do you have to live with it?
Right.
So.
After this workshop on Saturday, and that's through the NCGR, which I never know what that's. We're busted. Okay, I'll write it in the captions. It's just like it's something like it goes beyond me. So after that, what's your next gig?
I usually know.
It's like blank.
National Geographic Cosmic
something like that.
The R is research.
Right. Okay. What's your next gig after that?
Well, this was kind of my first foray in a long time back out into the world of teaching outside my home turf.
Right. Are you still in Maui?
No.
Where are you?
Well, no, I'm now back in Southern California since 2000.
Oh, okay.
But I did live in Maui for 20 years, which is my Jupiter and Moon line.
Nice.
Thank you very much. And that's where I got the S curve in my spine straightened out. Venus is where I got my skin cleared.
So we're in SoCal?
Actually in Temecula.
Okay, yeah.
It's just south of LA, north of San Diego.
Right.
So I think that really my next gigs are going to be webinars.
Okay.
Using either some downloadable DVDs or live webinars. And I've already filmed tons of material.
Okay, and on your website it says that the teaching for Feng Shui and the teaching for astrology is coming soon.
Right.
It's breathing heavy. It hasn't come yet.
But I do have my book on Feng Shui on the website. I do have my book on Astro Cartography. Yes.
Is this your book here? This is his book here. Oh, but look at and it's like opposite. I should have done the mirror thing. I'll switch it around when I do the editing. Yeah. And then
it comes with a 1-hour DVD, which is a demonstration of the step-by-step process.
And here's a little bit of reflection. Yeah. So here's the Feng Shui book, and I'll swing that around when I edit.
Now, what's unique about my Feng Shui book is that its focus is completely on the structural stuff. So no matter what other schools you study, Black Sect or Compass or Dogwise and so forth, everybody needs to know the foundation.
Yeah, the basics.
And this is the most comprehensive, you might say, compendium of problems and solutions that have to do with structure. There's a lot of this in other books here and there in smatterings, but here is like 165, and it's all organized as a checklist. So you can go down the checklist, say in the bedroom section, and see what your problems are, turn the page, and there's the illustration, description, and solution. Cool. So the non-Feng Shui person could just see what they need.
Yeah, they can just...
Instead of read a book hoping to find, oh, here's something I can use.
Right.
And the student, it's a textbook.
Yeah, it's a textbook if they just go all the way
through. There's a few Feng
through.
Shui teachers around the country who actually have this book as part of their foundation force in Feng Shui.
That's
So very structural in
yeah.
that sense.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the Astro Cartography book, that's the only book like it also, because all the other books are about Astro Cartography.
Right.
Why planets, but nobody gives you the instructions.
Yeah, the how-to.
Right, and there's only 3 places that you can find the instructions, and they're all kind of buried on page whatever in the back of the book, or by inside.
Right.
And anyone who's doing astrophotography who thinks they know what they're doing based on Jim Maynard's manual that comes with the original maps doesn't know what they're doing. Because it was only several years later that he went, all that is...
It's a forgettable.
Yeah, he came up with his revised edition,
right.
It died before he published it. So the old manual is copyrighted, stuck in history, cannot be changed.
Right.
And yet there's people thinking they're doing what they're doing because they've read it. And it says use 1/4 of an inch as being 350 miles. Or you go to astro.com and they say use 125 miles. Try 750.
Yeah.
That's a big swath on both sides.
Right.
So a lot of times, and this is why the main motivation of writing the book was so many times clients will come to me, someone else's clients. Someone said go to Venus, it'll make I'll fall in love. And I did fall in love, but the guys are really going to.
Yeah.
And I look at the map and the person didn't tell you that Saturn is a little further away, but still there.
Right, still within hand grenade range.
Exactly.
Right, we're still going to get hit by shrapnel.
A gilded Venus cage, Saturn.
Well, yeah.
And of course, there's a lot to say about Venus. Oh, I love it here; it's so beautiful. But it's Saturn. My bones and joints are hurting.
Right.
I'll move.
Right.
Oh well, I have reasons to be here. Family obligations. And people stay where they have to stay because of their karma.
That's true.
So you're ready to change your karma. Move.
That's right.
And there's always regret. There's always choices.
You have to make choices.
I love my parents. We grew up parents. They're lovely people. What a blessing. I would have loved them to have seen their grandkids growing up and to be able to have chicken soup every Friday night. That kind of family stuff. But I moved to California, and I wouldn't want to go back to Saturn.
No.
So for the sake of a Friday night with parents, that's a sacrifice for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So you gotta make some hard choices. Never easy.
Yeah.
But and then I went to Hawaii, which is 12 hours from the East Coast. It's even harder.
Yeah.
Especially as they got older.
Right.
But that was living in Jupiter. What a great flight. Whereas other people have Saturn in Hawaii, and they go, "What a miserable place!"
What a miserable place! They say everything's so expensive, and it costs like $10 for a head of lettuce.
While the person who's Venus in New York City says, "What a fabulous town! It's art, it's culture, beauty." It was that way for me too.
So if you want to know where is the best place for you to do whatever, have your career or have a love life or do your nope.
I did not.
Cross the board.
Cross the board.
Good quality of life.
There we go.
It's kind of superficial to say go to Mercury to write a book.
Yeah.
Or go to Venus to fall in love.
Right. No,
Doesn't
it's
work
like
out.
we're looking
John
for
F. Kennedy. Look at
all
John
around.
F. Kennedy. Rich, handsome, famous, wrote a very popular book, married a very beautiful lady.
And then went down
became
into the
president.
This
John
is
F. Kennedy.
the first one,
Yeah,
not
John,
Junior.
No, John F. Kennedy. Yeah, had all this wonderful, fabulous opportunity and a career that was successful. But his whole life, if you study his life, was miserable. He almost died of scarlet fever. He was dying of Addison's at the end.
Yeah, he had depression. He had the background.
His only friend was Bob. He was isolated and alone.
Yeah.
He was a womanizer, so we can kind of use our imagination about his relationship. And he had a bad, severe back, all Saturn issues.
And his hands shook all the time when he was doing his speeches.
So that's kind of the Addison issues started to take effect. So now, if he took my advice, he would have came to California.
Right.
Because that's where Venus was. He would have been happy as a governor.
Instead of hanging out in Hyannis Port.
For instance, a happy governor, maybe married Marilyn Monroe, and
There you go.
And probably find some hippie in Berkeley to
Fix
his back. I had scoliosis on Saturn and
So
out on Jupiter.
So what's your website?
My website, my name, Elliot, E-L-L-I-O-T, Tanzer, T-A-N-Z-E-R.
.com. There you go. And I'll put it in the captions and in the description below for YouTube. And he's on Facebook. Do you do Twitter?
I really don't do Facebook.
He doesn't
I'm on
really.
Facebook, but I'm on LinkedIn maybe I'll start getting into that social stuff
Maybe
as I
it's
start
like,
marketing
yeah.
the DVDs.
Or he will delegate that to someone who will do that for him.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. That would be a better
But,
bet. So anyway, I want to thank you.
Well, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful interview. We got a good almost 50. We got 15 minutes. Okay, this is it. And check out his website and check out all the wonderful services that he offers, and look forward to his teaching things for astrology and Feng Shui.
And get in touch wherever in the world you are. I can do your Feng Shui, your astrology.
There you go. Because we're all connected because with the computers. It's wonderful.
Those are easy.
Aren't they? This is great.
Thank
Okay,
you.
say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.